So when sewing with different types of thread, the spool can make a big difference on your tension, because as the thread comes off of the spool on either horizontal or vertical spools, you can see that on this particular thread there's a little piece of plastic that is sticking out from the thread itself. And so particularly as the thread gets low and gets thinner and thinner rather than really fat like this, as it comes off of the spool, it can hook on these little plastic pieces like that. And as it comes off the spool, you'll see that the thread spool is jumping and pulling. And every time it jumps and catches on something, it will cause tension irregularities. A lot of other spools don't have those kind of things. Like Gutermann thread does not have that kind of a spool cap. This is for the bottom where you put the thread when you're not using it, but as it comes off the spool, it's really smooth as it comes off. Other threads like this, I guess this is dual duty. It's not only is it horrible thread, but the spool itself has these knurled edges around the top where it can catch, and they have a little hook where you can hook the thread when you're not using it, and the thread can get in that hook and literally snap off your thread and maybe even completely like seize up your machine, break your needle or something like that. So one thing that you can do with these Aurifil when you're using them is, here's another one just like it with the top popped off. So all you have to do is just pop off the top of the spool, and now as you pull the thread off of the spool, there's no problem at all. It just comes off without a hitch. So that's what I would suggest doing is if you're going to use Aurifil threads, pop that cap off. Also, I've noticed, I've been doing this almost 40 years now, and I've seen threads like this dual duty it's bad thread, and some machines have no problem with it. Some machines don't sew with it well. Of all the threads I've ever seen, Aurifil is a really popular thread, and it's a good thread, but not all sewing machines like Aurifil. Generally, these Genomes have no problem with Aurifil, other than with this spool cap thing. But some machines like some Berninas, some Pfaff, like the Pfaff Grand Quilter, some machines just do not sew well with Aurifil. So I can put in Gutermann, I can put in cotton, polyesters, various different kinds of cone threads, all different kinds of things, but Aurifil will not work. It'll skip stitches, the tensions are really off. And that's not an uncommon thing with Aurifil, with sewing machines, is it does go through the tensioners differently, and it will generally need a little bit of a tension adjustment on a lot of sewing machines. So all those things to bear in mind. The main thing is I would take this cap off here when you're using Aurifil.